The rescue of the horned one, Triceratops herd versus Spinosaurus. The river is restless again. The air smells like iron. Beneath the fog, the water moves. Too fast, too quietly. Something's lurking there. The Triceratops herd approaches, horns lowered, their leader limping slightly from an earlier battle. The youngest one, a juvenile, steps into the shallows first. The current swirls. Birds explode into the air. Then the water splits open. The Spinosaurus strikes. He bursts from the river like a monster born of thunder, claws flashing, jaws locking around the young trike's frill. The herd screams. Panic spreads like fire. The river turns to chaos. The Spino drags his victim down. The young trike bellows, thrashing, eyes wide. But before he disappears beneath the surface, something changes. The herd stops running. The leader roars, a low, shaking call, and they turn back. All of them. The ground shakes as 3 adult trikes charge together, side by side, forming a moving wall of horns. The Spino sees them coming, snarling, releasing the trapped one. He steps backward into the deeper water, tail lashing, body half hidden by the current. The first trike hits like a battering ram. The impact sends a wave crashing over both beasts. The Spino stumbles. The others close in, horns cutting through the surface. The air fills with roars, splashes. The young trike crawls from the water, bleeding but alive. The Spino roars, frustrated, his sail glowing red in the sunset. He lunges again, but this time the leader meets him head-on. Horns slam into his ribs, lifting him halfway out of the river. The sound is like thunder. The beast staggers, collapsing into the mud. The herd backs away slowly, keeping formation, protecting their injured member. The Spino rises, breathing heavy, defeated for now. He watches them fade into the jungle, the river reclaiming his blood. The narrator whispers, "In this world, the strong survive alone. But sometimes, unity is stronger than teeth." If you're still watching, hit like right now. Drop A for the river god, or for Team Triceratops. And subscribe, because next time, the king returns, and he's not alone.
Observe the sheer scale of this magnificent creature, an adult Argenosaurus, one of the largest beings to ever walk Earth.
Each bone in its spine is nearly a meter long, yet remarkably lightweight, built with air sacs for support.
Even fossilized pollen embedded in its scales reveals the ecosystem it once ruled. A true marvel of ancient engineering.
The treachery of the pack. T-Rex versus Velociraptor pack. Stop scrolling. You've never seen a T-Rex fight like this. The jungle is silent. The only sound is the crack of thunder in the distance. And then, a shadow moves. The T-Rex steps into the clearing, muscles rippling, jaws dripping with rainwater. Around him, glowing eyes. Dozens. The Velociraptors. Fast, silent, deadly. They've been following him for days, waiting for him to tire. But tonight, they strike. The first leaps from the treetops, claws out. The Rex swings his head and catches it midair. Snap! Gone. The second lunges for his flank. He roars, stomps, crushes it into the mud. The ground shakes. The pack hesitates. 2 down. But the others? They're smarter, faster. They surround him in the dark, darting between ferns, slicing through the storm. The Rex thrashes, tail whipping like a club. Every swing is thunder. Every roar, a warning. He crushes another raptor underfoot. The rest scatter. It's over, or so he thinks. Behind him, the final raptor, scarred, silent, the lone survivor from day 2, crawls from the mud. The Rex turns to leave, breathing heavy, victorious. But the raptor sprints forward, slides beneath him, and slashes the back of his leg. The Achilles. The Rex collapses, roaring in agony. The raptor pauses just long enough to meet his eye, then disappears into the jungle. The king still lives, but he's wounded. The pack lost their war, yet the smallest one may have just changed history. If you think the Rex will get revenge, smash that like button right now. comment Team Rex or Team Raptor, and subscribe, because tomorrow the hunter becomes the hunted.
Armor versus venom. Which is better? Share this video.
If you think having a dog is crazy, wait till I show you my pet, a giant T-Rex named Rocco.
He's huge, he's loud, and he has no idea he's the size of a school bus.
To Rocco, this isn't a yard. It's his personal cuddle zone.
My brother Zane turned Rocco into the internet's favorite clueless puppy, T-Rex. He never catches the frisbee.
Mom says no snacks before dinner. Rocco thinks window licking doesn't count.
He tries to be quiet. His footsteps disagree. Fun fact. The mightiest predator of all time is absolutely terrified of the vacuum. Every fear response equals one destroyed flower bed. Mom loves that, totally.
But when the world goes quiet, he's just my giant, dino-shaped pillow.
Pack tactics versus toxic spit. Subscribe to see who wins the hunt.
I told him it wasn't a hot flash, it was my personal summer. Oh God, you didn't. That is brilliant. I'm using that one.
It's just so good to finally talk about this openly.
Lions in trouble? Follow for the rest of the fight. Like if you agree this is the link between dinosaurs and birds.
If Brachi's neck is longer than your East Asian dad's arm, hit the like button.
Subscribe before it grows. Ah!
Scientists carefully study the eye of a T-Rex under sterile light. Every retinal line captured in macro perfection.
Bone Wars, The Claim, T-Rex versus T. macraensis. Lightning flashes across the plain. Two shadows move through the storm. One, scarred, limping, the reigning king. The other, taller, broader, untouched by time, the intruder. This land belonged to T-Rex. For years, he ruled it with thunder in his jaws. But now, the earth carries the scent of a stranger, Tyrannosaurus macraensis, the ancient cousin. Primitive, powerful, and hungry for territory. The old king sniffs the air, blood still fresh on his leg from the raptor ambush days ago. He roars, the sound rolling across the valley. The challenger answers, a deeper, older sound that shakes the sky. They circle, the storm swells. Lightning reflects in their eyes. And then, they charge. The first impact is like mountains colliding. Mud sprays, claws dig deep, tails whip through the air. The old Rex bites first, locking onto the newcomer's shoulder, but his wound slows him. Macraensis twists, slamming him into a boulder. The king's roar turns into a growl of pain. They break apart, breathing hard. The rain pours harder. Steam rises from their backs. Neither backs down. The younger one charges again, faster, stronger. The old king sidesteps, snapping, tearing flesh from his rival's neck. Blood splatters the ground. The challenger stumbles but doesn't fall. He turns, eyes blazing, and bites down on the old king's jaw. The world goes silent. Then, an explosion of motion. The Rex slams his skull forward, forcing the bite open. They crash together one last time, a blur of muscle and fury. When it ends, both stand still. The old king lowers his head, not in defeat, but exhaustion. The younger one steps back. There's no final kill, no roar of triumph, only understanding. One leaves with the land, the other disappears into the rain. Two kings, one world. The voice fades in. Even giants must bow to time, but legends never die. If you think the king will rise again, smash that like button. Comment King Forever if you stand with T-Rex, or New Blood if you choose the challenger. And subscribe, because the next battle will decide who rules the age of monsters.
Drought, the last waterhole, herbivores versus Calophysis pack. Don't scroll. This is what happens when dinosaurs run out of water. The sun is brutal. The air shimmers. What used to be a river is now a cracked scar across the land. The last waterhole is shrinking, just a muddy pit surrounded by bones. And from every direction the desperate arrive. Parasaurs, Triceratops, Ankylosaurs, even old sauropods limp toward the puddle, tongues dry, eyes dull. They crowd in, pushing, groaning, fighting for drops, and watching from the rocks above, Calophysis, dozens of them, thin, starving, smiling. They don't hunt the strong, they wait for the weak. One old hadrosaur slips, falling into the mud. In seconds, the Calophysis move, fast, coordinated, like shadows with teeth. They swarm. The herd panics. Water sprays. Dust clouds rise. The weak cry out. The pack feeds. Then chaos. The ankylosaur charges, tail swinging, scattering predators. A triceratops bellows, defending its calf. The Calophysis leap back, regroup, circle again. This isn't a hunt. It's a chess match in heat and dust. The scene slows. You can almost hear their hearts. The waterhole reflects the sky, red, not blue, because survival has turned it into blood. As the camera pulls back, the voice cuts in. When thirst takes over, even the gentle become killers. The last Triceratops lowers its head to drink and realizes the reflection in the water isn't Tao its own. It's surrounded. Again, the desert wins. If you think you'd survive the last waterhole, hit subscribe right now. Drop a emoji if you D protect the herd, or a if you D join the hunt. New episode tomorrow. And trust me, you won't believe who's waiting in the river. Stop scrolling. Seriously, stop, because what you're about to hear isn't a fight. It's a warning from the mountains themselves. Subscribe now. because this is the story of the gatekeeper. The valley was quiet that morning. Too quiet. Mist rolled down from the cliffs, setty kind you feel from giants, but light, nervous, hesitant. A young Tyrannosaurus, alone, exploring where it shouldn't be. His mother's territory ended at the ridge, but hunger had pushed him farther than ever before. He was barely half-grown, thin, bold, and stupid enough to chase scent trails without caution. The smell of carrion had led him straight into the wrong valley, one that belonged to a herd of Ankylosaurus. If you know the legends of the ceratopsians, you know this place had a guardian. They called him the Mountain Gatekeeper. Comment if you'd already turned back by now. The young Rex lowered his head, sniffing the air. The ground was soft here, heavy with footprints, dozens of them overlapping, the kind that only come from beasts with horns like spears and skulls like shields. Still, he moved forward, cautious but curious, tail twitching in rhythm with his heartbeat. Ahead, a wall of stone cut across the valley, and on the other side, the faint grunts of grazing. He pushed through the ferns and froze. 3 Ankylosaurus, massive, scarred, and armed with thick nasal bosses where horns used to be. They were feeding peacefully until one of them lifted its head. Its nostrils flared. It saw him. The juvenile Rex let out a small growl, meant to sound fierce, but it cracked halfway. One Ankylosaurus snorted, pawing at the ground, its frill flaring red in the rising sun. The others began to move, slow, deliberate, forming a half circle. The Rex hesitated. He could still run, but something deep inside him, pride maybe, made him stay. He took a step closer. Bad decision. The first Ankylosaurus charged. The sound hit like thunder. Earth flew in chunks. The Rex dodged barely. A horn missed him by inches, scraping across his tail. Pain made him roar, high-pitched and panicked. He stumbled backward, slipping in the mud. He tried to stand tall, to roar louder, to look bigger than he was. But the herd didn't care. They weren't predators. They were guardians. This was their land. The Ankylosaurus stomped forward again. The ground quaked. The Rex backed into a boulder, trapped. "Run!" You're shouting at the screen right now, but he doesn't move. Don't look away. This is what happens when arrogance meets nature's wall. The Ankylosaurus lowered its head, preparing for the final blow. Dust filled the air, sunlight cutting through in golden streaks. The Rex shut his eyes, and then everything stopped. From behind the herd came a deeper rumble, slow, powerful, heavy. The Ankylosaurus turned, stepping aside. Out of the mist emerged something colossal, larger than any of them. Scars across its frill, one horn shattered, one eye gone. The Mountain Gatekeeper himself. The young Rex froze in awe. This wasn't prey. This was power carved from stone. The old Ankylosaurus stepped forward, earth bending beneath his weight. His breath came out in low, rhythmic grunts. Warning, not rage. He didn't charge, not yet. He simply looked down at the Rex, head tilting as if to say, "You shouldn't be here." The juvenile trembled. He let out a low whimper, and finally turned to run. The Ankylosaurus watched him vanish into the trees. The herd stayed still, waiting. Eventually, something tries to break through. Comment, "Still watching," if you want part 2, and subscribe before the mountain wakes again. The air was thick with the weight of an approaching storm. Clouds dragged shadows across the plains, rolling over the tall conifers that stretched toward the mountains. The ground trembled not from thunder, but from footsteps, heavy, deliberate, ancient. From the north came a hunter unlike any that had ruled this land before. It was new, raw, powerful, a primitive relative of the tyrant line that would one day dominate the world. Tyrannosaurus macriensis, shorter arms, thicker bones, broader jaw, the first whisper of what the true king would one day become. It had followed the scent of a giant, Weeks of trailing herds, picking up traces of dung, trampled grass, broken branches, each clue leading to something colossal, something slow, something worth the risk. When it reached the clearing, the storm had nearly arrived. Rain began to fall in soft, uneven drops. Ahead, among the trees, the Apatosaurus herd grazed. Enormous necks rose and fell like waves in a sea of green. Every breath they took seemed to make the air tremble. And there, lagging behind the herd, was one. An older female, her gait slower, her tail dragging slightly through the mud. The kind of weakness predators can smell. The Mecraensis stopped. It crouched, nostrils flaring, yellow eyes narrowing, hunger pressed against instinct. This was no small hunt, one wrong strike, and her tail could crush ribs like sticks. But hunger doesn't reason. It waits until it's unbearable. The first roar tore through the valley like a cannon blast. Birds erupted from the canopy. The Apatosaurus lifted their heads in alarm, tails whipping. The herd began to move, thunder rolling with every step. But the old one stayed. She turned, slow, eyes clouded with age, facing the shadow moving through the rain. The predator charged. Mud exploded beneath its feet. Its jaws opened wide, teeth glinting white in the gray stormlight. It hit the Apatosaurus low, slamming into her side. Flesh gave, bones strained. But she didn't fall. She twisted, her neck sweeping down in one impossible motion, tail swinging from the other end like a wrecking beam. The blow missed by inches. The air itself seemed to scream from the force. The predator circled, patient, breathing hard. The Apatosaurus bellowed, the sound shaking the trees. She planted her feet deep into the wet earth, her tail rising again. The Mecraensis darted forward, snapping at her flank, tearing skin but not enough to bring her down. The smell of blood mixed with rain. The predator bit again, this time higher, closer to the spine. The Apatosaurus stumbled. For a heartbeat, victory seemed close. Then her tail came down. The sound was like a thunderclap. The Mecraensis was thrown sideways, rolling through the mud, gasping. The tail had caught its ribs. One side of its body refused to move. Still, it stood, bleeding, trembling, roaring in defiance. The Apatosaurus swayed. Her breath came in broken gasps, sides heaving. Blood streamed from deep gouges down her flank. She turned away, limping toward the trees where the herd had gone. The Mecraensis followed, slow, limping, eyes locked on her retreating form. The rain poured harder now, washing crimson into the soil. It didn't matter who fell first, predator or giant. In this place, even survival looked like defeat. The storm swallowed them both, and the valley once again went quiet. Don't scroll. The story isn't over yet. You think the mountains went quiet after the Rex ran? They didn't. Subscribe right now, because what's coming next doesn't roar. It whispers. As the echoes of the last battle fade across the cliffs, the mist deepens again. Dust from the Ankylosaurus's steps still hangs in the air. Far beyond the ridge, unseen, something else has been watching. Not massive like the gatekeeper, not loud like the Rex, something smaller, sharper, patient, the hidden hunter. A single Utah raptor crouches among the rocks, feathers shifting with every breath. Its eyes follow the herd of Gastonia grazing along the base of the valley. Thick, armored creatures covered in bone plates and spikes, walking fortresses, impossible prey for most. But not for the pack that waits beyond the ridge. Comment, still watching if you're ready for what's next. The scout lowers itself to the ground, tail stiff, calculating every move. One wrong sound, and the herd will vanish into the forest. Testing the wind. The Gastonia herd moves slowly, scraping bark off trees with beak-like mouths, their armor glinting under filtered light. Their tails, tipped with heavy clubs, swing lazily like warning signs. One strike from that could crush bone. The Utahraptor studies them. His mind doesn't just think in hunger, It thinks in tactics. He knows where to bite, where to probe, how to make the armor open. But these creatures are not easy to break. He creeps closer until he is near enough to see the scars etched across one Gastonia's back, the proof of failed hunts from others before him. His claws flex, his breath steadies. And then, a soft click echoes. The Gastonia's head jerks up. Its seconds stretch forever. The herd halts. Tails raise, their eyes scan the ridge. The Utah raptor doesn't move, not even a blink. But his heart hammers in his chest. The Gastonia stares, nostrils flaring, and then, slowly, lowers its head again. Safe, for now. The raptor inches forward, testing the defenses. His claw reaches toward the nearest plate, tapping once. The sound is hollow but dense, like striking stone. He taps again, faster, almost curious. The Gastonia shifts suddenly. Tail swings, fast, brutal, a blur of motion. The club misses the raptor by inches, smashing the ground and sending a shock through the dirt. The Utah raptor leaps back, feathers ruffled, breathing hard. It's not fear, it's excitement. He's found the rhythm. The weak spots are between the plates. Small, but there. He knows what to do next. But he's not alone. He turns his head slightly. Beyond the ridge, faint shapes move. Silhouettes, 5, maybe 6, eyes glinting in the dim light. His pack, waiting for his signal. The scout's throat vibrates with a low chirp, barely audible, short, sharp. The Gastonia herd freezes again. They can feel it now. Something's wrong. The leader, an older male with deeper scars, stomps the ground, warning the others. The raptor doesn't attack yet. He's testing, watching how they react, mapping the herd's formation. Each time the tails swing, he learns. Each movement teaches him where the blind spots are. He crouches lower, blending into the brush. His claws sink into the soil. His eyes lock on the weakest one, a smaller Gastonia lagging behind. For a moment, everything goes quiet. No sound, no movement, just the low hum of the wind passing between them. And then, a single chirp. The ridge erupts in movement. 6 Utah raptors emerge from the mist, charging down like shadows with teeth. But before they can reach the herd, the ground trembles. A shape moves between the Gastonia, larger than the rest, covered in scars, eyes burning like embers. The Alpha Gastonia turns, raising its armored tail high, ready to meet them. The scout stops mid-charge. His eyes widen. This isn't a weak herd. This is a fortress. Dust rises. The mountain shakes. Both sides freeze, predator and prey locked in one moment of silence before chaos. The Utah raptor glances back toward the ridge, signaling again, one more time. The pack spreads out, fanning like shadows, surrounding the herd from all sides. The leader Gastonia grunts, steps forward. His tail swings once, a warning. The air crackles with tension. One wrong move, and the valley will explode in violence. And just before the first strike, The Hidden Hunter, Part 2, the pack descends. Never mistake silence for safety, like if you held your breath. Comment, still watching, if you felt that tension. And subscribe, because the hunt has only just begun. The Treachery of the Pack. T-Rex versus Velociraptor Pack. Stop scrolling. You've never seen a T-Rex fight like this. The jungle is silent. The only sound is the crack of thunder in the distance. And then, a shadow moves. The T-Rex steps into the clearing, muscles rippling, jaws dripping with rainwater. Around him, glowing eyes. Dozens. The Velociraptors. Fast, silent, deadly. They've been following him for days, waiting for him to tire. But tonight, they strike. The first leaps from the treetops, claws out. The Rex swings his head and catches it midair. Snap! Gone. The second lunges for his flank. He roars, stomps, crushes it into the mud. The ground shakes. The pack hesitates. 2 down. But the others? They're smarter, faster. They surround him in the dark, darting between ferns, slicing through the storm. The Rex thrashes, tail whipping like a club. Every swing is thunder, every roar a warning. He crushes another raptor underfoot. The rest scatter. It's over, or so he thinks. Behind him, the final raptor, scarred, silent, the lone survivor from day 2, crawls from the mud. The Rex turns to leave, breathing heavy, victorious. But the raptor sprints forward, slides beneath him, and slashes the back of his leg. The Achilles. The Rex collapses, roaring in agony. The raptor pauses just long enough to meet his eye, then disappears into the jungle. The king still lives, but he's wounded. The pack lost their war, yet the smallest one may have just changed history. If you think the Rex will get revenge, smash that like button right now. Comment Team Rex or Team Raptor and subscribe, because tomorrow the hunter becomes the hunted. Drought, the last waterhole, herbivores versus Calophysis pack. Don't scroll. This is what happens when dinosaurs run out of water. The sun is brutal. The air shimmers. What used to be a river is now a cracked scar across the land. The last waterhole is shrinking, just a muddy pit surrounded by bones. And from every direction the desperate arrive. Parasaurs, Triceratops, Ankylosaurs, even old sauropods limp toward the puddle, tongues dry, eyes dull. They crowd in, pushing, groaning, fighting for drops, and watching from the rocks above, Calophysis, dozens of them, thin, starving, smiling. They don't hunt the strong, they wait for the weak. One old hadrosaur slips, falling into the mud. In seconds, the Calophysis move, fast, coordinated, like shadows with teeth. They swarm. The herd panics. Water sprays. Dust clouds rise. The weak cry out. The pack feeds. Then chaos. The ankylosaur charges, tail swinging, scattering predators. A triceratops bellows, defending its calf. The Calophysis leap back, regroup, circle again. This isn't a hunt. It's a chess match in heat and dust. The scene slows. You can almost hear their hearts. The waterhole reflects the sky, red, not blue, because survival has turned it into blood. As the camera pulls back, the voice cuts in. When thirst takes over, even the gentle become killers. The last Triceratops lowers its head to drink and realizes the reflection in the water isn't Tao its own. It's surrounded. Again, the desert wins. If you think you'd survive the last waterhole, hit subscribe right now. Drop a emoji if you D, protect the herd, or a if you D, join the hunt. New episode tomorrow. And trust me, you won't believe who's waiting in the river. The river god's ambush. Spinosaurus versus Triceratops. Wait. Don't swipe. The biggest dinosaur ambush you'll ever see is about to happen. The swamp is silent, not peaceful, waiting. Murky water drifts around a fallen log. Dragonflies hover, and beneath the surface a shape moves, huge, ancient, watching. The Spinosaurus, king of the rivers, stalks unseen, half-submerged, eyes breaking the surface like crocodile eyes. He's been waiting here all morning. Patient, perfect. And then, the jungle trembles. Triceratops, a giant crossing the shallows, horns gleaming in the sunlight, nostrils flaring. He just wants water, but the water wants him. The Spino inches closer. Every bubble is a countdown. The trike lowers his head to drink. His reflection ripples, then disappears. The surface explodes. The Spinosaurus erupts from the water like a tidal wave, claws slashing, jaws closing around the trike's frill. The impact is brutal. The trike bellows, slamming forward, horns gouging mud. The river turns into a storm. Water surges. Trees fall. The Spino drags him deeper. The trike fights back, pushing, twisting, but the water is the Spino's kingdom. One final pull, and the Triceratops vanishes beneath the surface. Silence. The bubbles stop. The water darkens. Then, just for a moment, the Spino, breathing heavy, victorious. The river god. but something moves below. A final horn breaks the surface, scraping his side. The trike isn't finished yet. Both disappear again. The screen fades black. Text flashes, "Who survives the depths?" If your heart's pounding, hit that like button. Comment "Spino" if you rule the rivers. Trike if you stand your ground. And subscribe because next time, the river god meets the tyrant king. The primitive war continues.
Controls the sky. Follow for more aerial giants. The Dino's cousin. Like if you think the bird is tougher.
Head trauma. Comment yes if you felt that hit. Submarine warfare. Follow for more oceanic monsters.
The damage looks insane.
Subscribe before Santa sees!
All right, look straight ahead for me. Good. Now, can you follow my claw? Very good. Just relax.
We're cutting into the 6-inch thick armor plate of a Saltosaurus. See the bone and muscle underneath.
A single footprint, bigger than a human chest. But when the dirt trembled beneath it,
under sterile light, a paleontologist peels back the keratin of a velociraptor claw, exposing the precision weapon nature and
Shifting Earth, the Canyon Trap. Allosaurus versus Stegosaurus. The canyon hums with strange energy. Cracks split the ground. Dust rains from the cliffs. The animals sense it. Something deep beneath the earth is waking. The Stegosaurus moves slowly through the canyon floor, tail plates glinting under the noon sun. His herd is gone. Only he remains, separated after the quake that shook the forest. His heavy steps echo between the walls. From above, yellow eyes watch, the Allosaurus. A hunter shaped for chaos. He's been stalking the Stego for hours, waiting for the right moment. The canyon traps sound. There's no escape. The Allosaurus leaps. The Stego turns just in time. Claws scrape scales. The Stego swings his tail. Crack! The spike slams into the wall, missing by inches. The Allo dodges, snapping at his neck, dragging him to the ground. The ground rumbles again. Rocks tumble. Both creatures freeze. A fissure opens near the cliffside, swallowing half a tree. They back away from the edge, but the Allo strikes again, teeth sinking into the Stego's back. The Stego bellows, twisting, slamming the Allo with his tail. This time it hits. Blood sprays. The predator stumbles, growling, half limping, but still ready. Then the earth screams. The quake begins again. The walls crumble. The stego charges, knocking the aloe aside as boulders crash between them. The dust blinds everything. The aloe roars but vanishes behind the falling rocks. The stego barely escapes, dragging his tail through the rubble. Behind him, the canyon collapses entirely, swallowing the battlefield. He looks back once. The aloe is gone. Maybe crushed, maybe waiting. The earth stops shaking. The world goes quiet. Sometimes survival isn't about strength. It's about being in the right place when the world falls apart. If that had you on edge, drop a below. Hit like if you think the aloe survived and subscribe, because the canyon may be quiet, but something far worse wakes beneath it. The primitive war continues.
The river god's ambush. Spinosaurus versus Triceratops. Wait. Don't swipe. The biggest dinosaur ambush you'll ever see is about to happen. The swamp is silent, not peaceful, waiting. Murky water drifts around a fallen log. Dragonflies hover, and beneath the surface a shape moves, huge, ancient, watching. The Spinosaurus, king of the rivers, stalks unseen, half-submerged, eyes breaking the surface like crocodile eyes. He's been waiting here all morning, patient, perfect. And then, the jungle trembles. Triceratops, a giant crossing the shallows, horns gleaming in the sunlight, nostrils flaring. He just wants water, but the water wants him. The Spino inches closer. Every bubble is a countdown. The trike lowers his head to drink. His reflection ripples, then disappears. The surface explodes. The Spinosaurus erupts from the water like a tidal wave, claws slashing, jaws closing around the trike's frill. The impact is brutal. The trike bellows, slamming forward, horns gouging mud. The river turns into a storm. Water surges. Trees fall. The Spino drags him deeper. The trike fights back, pushing, twisting, but the water is the Spino's kingdom. One final pull, and the Triceratops vanishes beneath the surface. Silence. The bubbles stop. The water darkens. Then, just for a moment, the Spino rises, breathing heavy, victorious. The river god. But something moves below. A final horn breaks the surface, scraping his side. The trike isn't finished yet. Both disappear again. The screen fades black. Text flashes, "Who survives the depths?" If your heart's pounding, hit that like button. Comment Spino if you rule the rivers. Trike if you stand your ground. And subscribe because next time, the river god meets the tyrant king. The primitive war continues.
Does anyone have a bigger brush?
Subscribe! It's cold in here.
Did it move? Did it move?
Brutal. This scar detail is brutal, but I bet a non-collector designed the paint application. We need to verify the paint bleed and texture accuracy. Send
We isolate this velociraptor tooth under a microscope to study the venom grooves and serrations. Look at these deadly details.
This dino feels your scroll vibrations.
I'm going to put these 14 articulation points to the test, posing this dino like it's fleeing the Jeep in Jurassic Park. If any joint fails or pops out, you'll be...
Ooh.
Welcome to the Spinosaurus swim test. Unfortunately, the results confirm our fears. The $100 million flop is sinking fast.
51 dinosaurs, 1 park, pure chaos. Welcome to JWE3.
The all-out attack claim needs verification. Is this the most aggressive play feature Mattel has ever released? The new Rex Roar, does it sound better?
What do dinosaurs use to pay bills? Tyrannosaurus checks.
Look at the core temperature readout. It's over 300 Kelvin. How is that possible after 65 million years?
Why don't Triceratops ever get lost? We always follow our nose, or all 3 of them. What?
Bones don't move. Not on their own. But tonight they remembered their shape.
He thought the lab was secure until something brushed the glass from the other side.
Hold up, subscribe to DinoDose first.
Librarian demands order. The book is overdue. Oh, the shelves. Too low. Dewey Decimal disaster. Return that novel at once.
You don't need fences when the world builds them for you.
They promised coexistence. But who really controls the dinosaurs now?
Predators, prey, survivors. The swarm spared no one, and it's not done yet.
Look at the size of that thing. It's incredible. They actually got it out. This changes everything.
For the best prehistoric content, you have to subscribe to DinoDose today. Join the pack.
Subscribe!
Two legends, one born of truth, one born imagination. Science gave one wings. Cinema.
Today, we're examining the remarkable internal anatomy of this subadult Triceratops. Notice the incredible
Let's open this up. Wow, okay, this is way bigger than I expected. Look at this head. I am officially a T-Rex now. Wow, check out this tail. The colors are incredible. All right, let's strap this baby on and see how it looks. Roar!
Observe the sheer scale of this magnificent creature, an adult Argentinosaurus, one of the largest.
Observe the sheer scale of this magnificent creature, an adult Argentinosaurus, one of the largest beings to ever walk Earth.
Aha! Here you are! Yes, you! Please subscribe to my channel. I was searching for you.
The biggest beast, undone by the smallest terror.
Trick or treat?
The detail on the medium is impressive, but look at the size of this 1-to-1 scale Brachiosaurus. It's absolutely breathtaking.
The jungle is dead. Only two creatures remain, a wounded Ankylosaurus and a burned predator and prey. Too tired to fight, too scared to rest. Then the ground hums. The swarm returns, crawling like a living tide. They run through mud, through ash, through the ghosts of everything left behind. The Baryonyx roars behind them and vanishes under a black cloud, only to make it to the ridge. The air turns hot. The insects stop. Fire holds the line for now. Because what's coming next isn't a swarm, it's an evolution. Like if you felt the fear, comment who you'd save and subscribe because this story isn't over yet.
The lagoon was silent, too silent. Mist drifted over dark water as the first rays of dawn caught the rippling surface. Something massive stirred beneath. Fish scattered. Crocodiles slipped away without a sound. And then, slow, deliberate steps. Spinosaurus entered the water, its sail rising like a jagged mountain against the pale sky. It came for fish, for territory, for dominance. But the river did not belong to it today. A shadow glided beneath the surface, longer than the boat-sized predators Spino usually hunt. No splash, no roar, just a cold, ancient presence. From the deep saltwater trench connected to the river mouth, Pliosaurus had arrived. its eyes black and unblinking, fixed on the intruder standing above its realm. Spinosaurus sensed it, muscles tightening, claws curling. The water trembled. A low growl rumbled from its throat. Then, without warning, the river exploded. Pliosaurus launched upward like a torpedo, jaws open wide, lined with teeth built to crush. It slammed into Spino's ribs, dragging it under. The water went from calm blue to blood and foam in a heartbeat. Spino thrashed violently, claws raking through the surface. Its sail cut through the water like a sinking ship mast. It bit down on Pliosaurus's snout, holding it just long enough to break free. The massive dinosaur surged upward, gasping, water cascading off its scales. But the Pliosaur came again. This time it struck from below, twisting in a deadly roll. Spino's roar gurgled underwater. Bones popped. The riverbed shook. For a moment, just a moment, it looked like the king of the rivers would vanish into the depths forever. But Spinosaurus was not done. With one last surge of power, it planted its feet on the muddy riverbed and used the shallows as a weapon. Dragging Pliosaurus toward land, toward its territory, toward air, Pliosaurus snapped wildly, tail thrashing, trying to pull them both back into deep water. Water churned, blood spread. No creature dared come close. Then, silence. Only ripples. Only the breeze. One of them still breathed. One of them sank to the bottom, claimed by the river's dark. But the water still smelled like blood. And far beyond the river mouth in the saltwater sea, something even bigger was coming. The sky is bruised purple when the last two titans meet. No tricks, no rivals, no distractions. Just the king, and the challenger who never bowed. The clearing is silent except for the crackle of burning trees, remnants of the chaos that came before. Ash drifts through the air like snow. Every creature within miles has fled. Every heartbeat in the forest seems to hold itself still. The T-Rex steps into the open first, limping, bleeding, but unbroken. The survivor of day 24, a monarch carved from violence and willpower. Each stomp shakes loose embers from dying branches. His breath comes out in deep guttural thunder, like the earth trying to warn itself. Across the smoldering riverbank, a shape rises from the smoke. Spinosaurus. Taller. Longer. A walking shipwreck of teeth and fury. Sail glows red from the flames behind it, turning it into a silhouette of pure nightmare. Water drips from its claws, sizzling on the scorched ground. Its growl vibrates through the soil, lower and darker than anything alive should be able to produce. The world narrows. Two apex predators, two legends, two answers to the same question. Who rules a dying world? The Spino moves first, charging with a roar that tears through the treetops. Its claws swipe, ripping trenches in the earth. The Rex counters with a bone-shaking head slam, the impact echoing like a meteor strike. Sound waves ripple through the smoke. Birds erupt from the canopy in a desperate panic. The Spino pushes forward, weight like a collapsing building. The Rex holds, bite force strong enough to crack reality. Every collision is violence shaped into sound. Mud sprays, blood arcs. Trees fall like dominoes. The ground becomes a battlefield of footprints and impact craters. Then, a single misstep. The Spinosaurus lunges, jaws stretching wide to end the fight in one brutal crush. But the Rex twists, faster than size should allow. Teeth clamp into the Spino's neck, not with precision, but with finality. A sound erupts. Not a roar, not a scream, something primal and ancient, the kind of noise evolution made when it gambled wrong. The Spino collapses, slowly, defiantly, but inevitably. The Rex stands over it, chest heaving, blood dripping from his jaws like falling stars. He doesn't roar. He doesn't celebrate. He simply breathes, heavy, victorious, exhausted, because kings don't need applause. They just need to survive. And as the final sparks die out and the forest settles into silence, the truth becomes undeniable. No matter the debate, no matter the challenger, The throne was never empty. It was only waiting for the one strong enough to claim it. If that gave you chills, don't hold back. Hit subscribe. Part 3 is coming, and the sky hasn't finished falling. They said dinosaurs ruled the land until the water proved otherwise. The first time the Spinosaurus stepped into the deep lagoon, everyone watching the gameplay stream stopped breathing. It didn't walk. It didn't splash. It glided, body dropping into perfect buoyancy, tail cutting through the water like a living rudder. For years we guessed, argued, fought fan wars over whether these giants were swimmers or walkers. Now the truth unfolds on screen, smooth and terrifying. They were built for the water, and they know it. The camera follows as the Spino dives, claws skimming the surface before slipping under like a crocodile with turbo mode. Sunlight breaks into shimmering shards across its sail. And then the moment we all waited for, a burst of speed. Not awkward, not stiff. Fluid, silent, deadly. You don't hear the roar. You feel it vibrate through the waves. Across the lake, a Baryonyx waits. Smaller, sleeker, a knife compared to the Spino's warhammer. It watches the ripples, calculating. With a flick of its tail, it slips in too, swimming with a hybrid grace between otter and predator. This isn't walking through water like old games. This is momentum, weight shift, muscle flow, bodies rolling, tails steering, limbs folding in and out like living paddles. For the first time, water becomes territory, not obstacle. The Baryonyx dives, chasing a shoal of fish that scatter like glitter. It bursts upward, jaws snapping, droplets flying like diamonds. The Spino circles from below, a shadow the size of a nightmare. In a lake that once felt decorative, these two make it feel alive, dangerously alive. Fans melt down in the chat. They actually swim now? Bro, this animation is insane. This is how semi-aquatics should have always been. And you know what? They're right. Spino isn't just strong now. It's home in the water. Baryonyx isn't just fast. It's purpose-built. Deep water isn't a feature anymore. It's a battleground, an ecosystem, a new chapter in the park's personality. And as the Spino surfaces beside the viewing gallery, water streaming off its sail like a rising leviathan, one thing becomes crystal clear. Land had its king. Water just crowned its own. If you love seeing dinosaurs evolve into the creatures they were meant to be, hit subscribe, because this is just the first wave. The lagoon hasn't shown its darkest secrets yet.
Jurassic World Evolution 3 just turned into Planet Zoo. I tried to build a shop, now I'm decorating roof tiles at 3 a.m. Someone stop me.
The ground rumbled long before the first roar. Ash drifted like snow over black volcanic rock. Lava rivers pulsed in the distance, glowing veins across a dying land. Every creature had already fled, except two. From the smoke emerged Carnotaurus, skin scorched by drifting embers, horns glowing in the firelight. Fast, furious, built like a living spear. It wasn't here to escape. It was here to claim what the volcano would soon erase. But it wasn't alone. A second silhouette stepped from the ash clouds, Ceratosaurus. Scarred snout, teeth dripping from its last kill, eyes reflecting the lava like molten gold. Both predators locked eyes. No territory left to fight for. No prey worth killing, just pride, and the world collapsing around them. The volcano roared. Liquid fire spilled down its side. Neither moved. A thunderclap of footsteps. Carnotaurus charged first, feet crunching into volcanic glass. Ceratosaurus sidestepped, jaws snapping for the exposed neck, missed by inches. Ash exploded around them like gunpowder. Lava cracked in the distance. They circled. One wrong step, and the earth would swallow them whole. Carnotaurus lunged again, this time slamming horn first into Ceratosaurus's ribs. Bone cracked. Ceratosaurus retaliated, teeth sinking into Carnotaurus's shoulder, dragging it dangerously close to a glowing fissure. One push, one slip, one scream, and either could fall into molten death. The ground split. Ceratosaurus stumbled, lava lighting its scales from below. Carnotaurus roared, victorious, until the volcano answered with a blast that shook the sky. Ash, flame, and rock rained down. Both stopped, both bleeding, both breathing hard, and in that fiery silence, they understood. Only one walks away. Tell me, who survives? Carnotaurus? Ceratosaurus? Drop it in the comments, like if you could feel the heat. Subscribe before the volcano blows again, because next we go deeper into the fire, and something is waiting in the crater.
Ash rains from the sky. The volcano behind them rumbles like a waking giant. Most creatures ran, but two stayed. Carnotaurus, Ceratosaurus. One built for speed and brute impact, horns glowing red from drifting embers. The other, scarred, ruthless, jaws stained with fresh blood. They're not fighting for territory anymore. The land is dying. They're fighting for pride. Carnotaurus charges first. Volcanic glass shatters under its feet. Ceratosaurus dodges, jaws snapping at its neck. Missed. Lava flows nearby, bubbling like boiling blood. The air tastes like ash. They circle, smoke curling around them like ghosts. Carnotaurus lowers its head. Bam! Horns slam into Ceratosaurus's ribs. A roar of pain. But Ceratosaurus grabs its shoulder and pulls, dragging Carnotaurus inches from a burning lava crack. One more push, and it's over. The volcano explodes behind them, fire lighting the sky red and orange. Both predators freeze for just a second, covered in ash, bleeding, breathing like steam engines. Who walks away? Who falls into fire? Comment Carnotaurus or Ceratosaurus. I'm reading everyone. Hit subscribe if you felt that heat, because next, we step inside the volcano, and something is waiting in the crater.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, it's perfect. Look at that preservation. Incredible.
Did the hippopod survive? COMNT, your verdict.
Two predators, one volcano, no escape. Carnotaurus or Ceratosaurus, who survives? Two predators, one volcano, no escape. Carnotaurus or Ceratosaurus, who survives?
Krylosaurus sobs for gelato! World freezes! Subscribe or face the cold truth!
And from the grave, Gigarex Revenant remembered. But the experiment didn't end there.
Cryovore, Ravager, Revenant, reborn as one. Erebus Prime.
It compiled. We did it!
Yes! This changes everything.
Day 17, the speedrun challenge. Outrunning a raptor. It's right on my tail. I don't know if I can make it.
Oh my god, look at the detail! They actually put that in the game! This is insane.
Day 19, Myth Bust. Scientific truth versus Hollywood fantasy.
This is insane! The biggest dino patch of the year is finally here! The gameplay tweaks are massive and—
Day 3, Lore Drop. Who really created Indominus Rex? Uncovering the mystery behind the in-game hybrid's creation and the secret devlogs.
Day 9 Myth Bust. Did Deinonychus really hunt in packs? Separating science fact from fiction in pack hunting Deinonychus behavior.
The cave predator. The forest had gone silent. No wind, no insects, no birds. The first expedition thought the valley was empty, until they found the cave. Deep under the limestone ridge, something had carved tunnels too smooth, too wide, too deliberate to be made by time. The air was cold, too cold. Then came the sound. Not a growl, not a roar, a click. The scientists froze. One of them whispered, "Deinonychus." But they were wrong. It wasn't one. It was many. Hidden in the dark, a pack moved like ghosts. No eyes visible, only the sound of claws scraping stone. The expedition turned on their lights. Nothing. Just dust. And a faint echo of movement. Then a flash. A blur of scales. A streak of motion. The Deinonychus had adapted. Years trapped underground had turned them into something else. Their feathers were gone, replaced by smooth black hide that absorbed light. They no longer hunted by sight. They hunted by sound. Every drop of water, every heartbeat, every trembling breath painted a map in their heads. And tonight, the cave wasn't empty. A herd of Pachycephalosaurus had wandered in, searching for shelter from the storm. Their skull domes glistened with moisture, echoing faint metallic thuds whenever they bumped into rock. That sound was their death sentence. The first click echoed again. Closer. Then another. From behind. Then dozens, circling. The herd panicked. One charged into the dark. A mistake. The sound that came back wasn't a roar. It was tearing. In pitch blackness, the Deinonychus pack moved like a single organism. They didn't chase. They waited. Let the noise guide the kill. Silence returned. Then one last echo. The leader of the pack, taller than the rest, stepped into faint moonlight at the cave mouth. Scars across its snout, claws dripping with wet dust. It looked out at the world it hadn't seen in years. For the first time in centuries, the predators had come out of the dark. But they weren't alone. The echo followed them. The world above had sound too. Wind, rain, thunder. And now the hunters knew how to listen. So if you ever hear that soft click in the dark, don't move. Don't breathe. Because if you make a sound, you've already been found. Drop a like if you got chills. Comment, click to join the Dino Squad. And subscribe before the next roar. Because the next predator doesn't hunt by sight.
Don't scroll. You've never heard a dinosaur story like this. They called it the Locaceratops, the trickster god. But it wasn't a monster. It was a parent. In the misty wetlands of the New World, it guarded its eggs like treasure, horns curved like a crown, eyes sharp as lightning. When predators came, it didn't fight with rage. It tricked them, leading them away from its nest through the reeds into deep water, then vanished back to protect its young. Every horn tap, every sound meant something. Not anger, not fear, but family. Scientists thought it was cunning. Turns out it was smart. The first ceratopsid to build safe nests and defend them with strategy, not strength. And maybe that's what made it divine. The god of deception turned guardian of life. If you think the Locaceratops deserves its title as the protector of the wetlands, drop a like and hit subscribe right now. Because next time, we meet the dinosaur that hunted gods.
They call it the Locaceratops, the trickster god of the wetlands. 6 meters long, 5 tons of bone and instinct, horns curled like a crown. But behind that beauty lies something deeper, something ancient. In Jurassic World Evolution 3, Locaceratops isn't just a new ceratopsid, it's a revelation. A creature that forces humanity to rethink what parenting, territory, and intelligence mean in the age of reborn giants. Deep in the fog-covered wetlands, the air shimmers with humidity. Reeds bend under the weight of morning dew. And there, moving like a shadow, the Locaceratops stands guard over its nest. Not a lab hatchery, not a containment pen, a home it built itself. The world after Dominion has changed. There are no fences strong enough anymore, only boundaries made of instinct and trust. The Locaceratops thrives here because it remembers the old rules. Protect your own, and never let your enemies see where you sleep. Scientists at the Dinosaur Integration Network call it the most strategic herbivore ever recorded. When predators approach, it doesn't charge blindly. It decoys, leading them away from the real nest into the deeper water where reeds hide the young. Some call that trickery. Others call it genius. Its horns aren't just weapons, they're language. Mates tap them together in low, echoing clicks that roll across the marsh. To us, it sounds like thunder. To them, it's a promise. I'm here. You're safe. Every behavior, every sound, every step across the wet ground carries meaning. The Locaceratops chooses isolation not out of fear, but out of wisdom. It demands privacy. It builds its nesting ground far from others because peace, like life, must be protected quietly. And here's the irony. The dinosaur named after the trickster god of deception might be the most honest creature alive. It doesn't hunt for power. It doesn't destroy for glory. It fights only for the ones that depend on it. In the new breeding systems of Evolution 3, Locaceratops changes the rules for park builders and conservationists alike. It refuses to breed in open enclosures. It demands cover, shade, isolation, proof that its world is safe. To earn its trust, you must create one. Some players will chase profits. Others will chase perfection. But the true masters, the ones who listen to the swamp, will find what this species really offers. Balance. The kind that holds the fragile line between chaos and care. Locaceratops isn't just another addition to your roster. It's the heart of a new philosophy, one where life builds, protects, and plans for generations ahead. So if you're still watching, remember this moment. The trickster isn't laughing, it's teaching. Teaching us how to survive the age of our own creation. Drop a like if you believe the Locaceratops deserves its throne as the guardian of the wetlands. Comment if you'd protect your nest like it does. And hit subscribe, because next, we're entering the territory of a dinosaur that doesn't guard life. It tests it. This is the age of Locaceratops, the protector, the parent, the god of survival.
Look, it's attacking the boat. Get inside!
Why don't skeletons fight each other?
They don't have the guts.
How do you make a tissue dance?
Put a little boogie in it.
How do you make a tissue dance?
Put a little boogie in it.
What do you call cheese that isn't yours?
Nacho cheese.
They said the strongest fences were made of steel. Turns out, nature builds stronger ones. In Jurassic World Evolution 3, the wild has become your new engineer. No longer are you boxed in by concrete and wire. Now, you build with rivers, cliffs, and waterfalls, living barriers that breathe, shift, and shape the way dinosaurs move. It begins with a stream, just a ribbon of water cutting through the mud, harmless, calm. Then you deepen it. Flow becomes current. Current becomes control. A Spinosaurus approaches the edge, tests the depth, and stops. You didn't build a fence. You built a border of instinct. Water divides your park now, not walls. You can carve a canyon in seconds, flood a valley, raise a ridge, build a waterfall so powerful it becomes sound and spectacle at once. The dinosaurs don't see boundaries. They feel them. The ground itself tells them where they can and cannot go. Imagine standing above it all. A Tyrannosaurus Rex pacing at the cliff's edge, wind howling through its feathers. It looks down, sheer drop into the mist. No wall, no wires, just the world keeping order. And that's where JWE3 changes everything. Terrain is no longer a backdrop. It's a tool. Deep rivers become barriers for large carnivores. Shallow deltas guide herds into open fields. Waterfalls act as natural dividers, sound masking, visual borders, living spectacle. And cliffs are your fail-safes. When storms hit, the rivers rise, and the system adjusts in real time. The water floods, flows, reshapes, and your enclosures evolve with it. It's no longer about building a cage. It's about building a world that behaves like one. You can even use wind direction, slope, and vegetation density to manipulate dinosaur pathing. A Triceratops won't risk climbing steep rock. A Baryonyx will follow the sound of rushing water to its pond. Every detail, every pebble, every ripple now matters. It's not just simulation anymore. It's terraforming instinct. So the next time you're building your park, remember, the ground you shape decides who survives. Because nature doesn't care about your fences. It already has its own. Like if you've ever watched your Spino test the waterline. Comment your favorite natural barrier, river, cliff, or waterfall, and subscribe. Because next we're diving into how to build a self-contained ecosystem using nothing but terrain.
Forget metal fences. In JWE3, nature is your strongest defense. Rivers become barriers. Cliffs become walls. And waterfalls. They're both beauty and containment. You carve a river, and the Spinosaurus stops at the edge. You raise a cliff, and the T-Rex roars from above, trapped by gravity itself. No wires, no cages, just instinct. This isn't about keeping dinosaurs in. It's about letting nature keep order. Like if you'd build your park this way, comment your favorite natural fence, and subscribe, because next, we're testing if rivers can hold a pack of raptors.
Hit subscribe before its glowing eyes flash 5 times. Every age crowns a king, but only one kept the throne for 65 million years.
Tell us your favorite scar in the comments, and like this video.
It starts as a joke, a whispered plan between two friends over half-melted ice cream and heartbreak. She is scrolling through her ex's new vacation photos, the kind that make your chest ache, all sunsets and staged laughter. He's freshly single too, still pretending that seeing his ex's engagement post doesn't sting. Let's make them jealous, she says with a crooked grin, half serious, half daring him. He leans back, that spark in his eyes. You mean like fake dating? No, she says, twirling her spoon. Just one picture, one kiss, something to post and forget. He laughs. A low, warm sound. You're going to ruin me, you know that? The night they do it, the air smells like rain.
Hit subscribe before the next fossil rises nay.
Behold, the aquatic terror with the wrong tail and disproportionate calves. Oh, behold, the aquatic terror with the wrong tail and disproportionate calves. Oh. This is the new gigantic Thrasher's Pterosaurus. Now let's test that tail-activated attack. Look at that action. Absolutely massive. We got the gigantic Thrasher. It's 13.5 inches long. You can scan here to unlock. Now check out the vicious rampage attacks. Tail up.
This is the Tyrannotitan from Gigantic Thrashers. It's huge. Now watch this. Up and down for the chomp and side to side for the slashing attack.
It mutates.
And folks, if you want to see more incredible races just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button now. Goku can fight gods, but nothing scares him like Chi-Chi on a mission. Even the dinosaur didn't stand a chance. Watch Gohan's face.
Kamehameha! Garlic goo!
Hey everyone! Miss me? Only been gone 2 days and I'm already seeing comments like, wait, here's the dino! So, what did you guys miss more?
I'm going to attempt the classic reaching the highest branches pose from JP. Does this look 100% movie accurate, or is Mattel cutting corners on articulation points again?
Joviner Journalist has the scoop, but this pen, it is so small. Inkblot insanity. My story is lost.
Intelligence is instinct. Who has the brains? Comment below.
Hey, you! Yes, you! I just crawled out of extinction and the first thing I need is YOU. If you don't...
They are neck and neck coming down the stretch. What a race. If you want to see more excitement like this, make sure you subscribe now.
Scientists say dinosaurs use their tails for balance. Guess they didn't test that on ice. Stick around, because every laugh here comes with a real dino fact.
Two ancient predators. One rules the rivers, one rules the oceans. Only one gets to keep this territory.
The paddock fence is failing in Sector 4.
Reroute auxiliary power immediately.
They called it the Impossible Hunter. It could swim like a crocodile, run like a cheetah, and strike faster than a hawk.
The first thing you notice about the Badlands pack isn't the scenery, it's the silence. Not empty, expectant. A kind of quiet that feels like the game is holding its breath, waiting for you to decide whether this forgotten desert is worth claiming. At dawn, the Badlands look ordinary, pale rocks, dry riverbeds, wind carving ghosts across the sand. But then the light shifts, just a little, and suddenly the world wakes up. Shadows stretch long. All you have to do is bring it back to life. That's when the blueprints hit you. 5 exclusive builds, bundled like secrets. A research outpost clinging to the edge of a canyon. A skeleton exhibit lit by fire-colored spotlights at sunset. A wind-battered watchtower that makes you want to script an entire Ranger storyline around it. A visitor walkway suspended over a dried river gorge. And that final surprise, an enclosure design that feels like it shouldn't work, but somehow does. It's not flashy content. It's found content. Pieces that make the Badlands feel ancient, dangerous, and worth fighting for. Then you see the ATV, not the default model, not a simple reskin. This one looks like it was built by someone who drives into storms for fun. Matte black plating, dust-crusted tires, neon hazard stripes glowing faintly under the desert sun. When your maintenance team rides out into a sandstorm, this thing looks like it belongs there, like it's survived more disasters than the dinosaurs themselves. And you think, okay, this feels special. Not because it's expensive, not because it's exclusive, but because it does something rare. It makes the world feel larger than your park, like there are stories buried everywhere, like every ridge and canyon could hold fossils you just haven't uncovered yet. Is the bands. The next story starts where the wind never stops blowing.
Jurassic World Evolution 3. Trailer breakdown. The generational leap. The roar of a new era begins. For years, players asked for one thing, a world where dinosaurs don't just exist. They live, grow, and survive beyond the fences. And now, Frontier has delivered. Welcome to the generational leap. Jurassic World Evolution 3 is an another park builder. Itlaw as the first true dinosaur conservation simulator. Set in the post-Dominion world, where prehistoric life roams free across continents, this chapter bridges the gap between Dominion and Jurassic World rebirth. It's no longer about profit. It's about survival, ethics, and the question that defines the new Jurassic Age. Can humanity coexist with its own creations? The trailer opens with a familiar sight, the wild Montana Badlands, a callback to where it all began. But look closer. The old fences are gone. The world itself has become the enclosure. We see the new Dinosaur Integration Network, or DIN, the organization that now governs how humans manage living dinosaurs across the planet. Their mission? To support dinosaurs in our modern world. Sounds noble, but as the voiceover teases, not everyone will support your vision. The age of containment is over. Welcome to the global conservation mandate. Then the trailer shows what fans have been begging for since the first game, generational dynamics. For the first time ever, dinosaurs don't just respawn from a lab, they're born. Actual breeding, nests, parents, juveniles. We see a pair of Lococeratops guarding their nest, their curved horns shining in the dusk. And then a tiny hatchling steps forward. It's not a cosmetic effect, it's a living mechanic. Every species now carries traits, fertility, markings, even recessive genes that pass down through generations. You're not building attractions anymore, you're managing bloodlines. One wrong decision, and that rare genetic line could vanish forever. This is the true evolution of Jurassic management. And just when you're processing that, the trailer hits us with another massive upgrade, modular building. Gone are the gridlocked placements. Now, every piece, every wall, every roof tile, every path can be resized, rotated, recolored, or remixed. Want a cliffside viewing platform overlooking a waterfall enclosure? Do it. Want a research hub integrated into jungle terrain with elevated walkways and suspended bridges? You can. The freedom is Planet Zoo level, but this time it's set in the chaos of the Jurassic era. Players can sculpt rivers, carve valleys, and use cliffs themselves as natural fences. Yes, that means realistic enclosures built with the terrain, not around it. It's not just aesthetics, it's survival. Because these complex, natural habitats are exactly what the new breeding system demands. Comfort, privacy, and environment now determine whether your dinosaurs will even mate. Your park's success depends not on fences, but on ecosystems. Then the trailer cuts to the water, deep blue, calm, until a ripple turns to a wave. Mosasaurus. Frontier confirms full semi-aquatic behavior. Creatures like Spinosaurus and Baryonyx can now wade, stalk, and even dive dynamically. This isn't just pathfinding AI anymore. It's behavioral ecology. And it connects to one of the game's most requested systems, true mixed environments. For the first time, land, air, and sea ecosystems interact. The barriers between habitats are breaking down, literally and narratively. It's the living world after Dominion, one that refuses to stay contained. Mid-trailer, we see the globe. Not a single island, but multiple continents lighting up. The campaign is now worldwide. From the Montana Badlands to the Mediterranean cliffs, from the wetlands of Japan to frozen Arctic outposts. Every biome introduces new challenges, new climates, new flora, and new threats. Your mission changes with each region as you balance security, entertainment, and conservation. The trailer teases sabotage, blackouts, and political tension, confirming that the old corporate war between InGen and Biosyn may not be over. Your ethics will be tested. Do you cage a species for safety, or risk freedom for the sake of conservation? The world is watching, and your choices define the future heading into Jurassic World Rebirth. And then, the species showcase. The crowd pleasers return. T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Indominus Rex, Velociraptor, and the mighty Quetzalcoatlus. But there are surprises too. The ancient Guanlong, an early tyrannosauroid that adds evolutionary depth to the roster. And the fan-favorite Psittacosaurus finally debuting, feathers, quills, countershading, and all, rendered with breathtaking scientific accuracy. Even the smallest herbivores now require micromanagement, correct plant cover, low fences, and new paleobotany systems that track specific flora types. Each species feels like a living exhibit, not an asset. And with over 80 dinosaurs confirmed, this is the largest base roster the franchise has ever launched with. The final montage is pure adrenaline, ATVs speeding across wetlands, dinosaurs herding together under the sunset, a baby Diplodocus taking its first steps as its parents watch. And then, the unmistakable roar of the T-Rex echoing through a canyon. But it's not a roar of dominance anymore. It's a call, a warning that the balance between creation and control is shifting once again. As the logo fades, the words appear. Jurassic World Evolution 3, a global conservation experience. Release date, October 23rd, 2025. The trailer ends with a line that feels almost prophetic. Life doesn't just find a way, it learns to stay. If you've been waiting since Jurassic World Evolution 2 for true evolution, this is it. Hit subscribe, join the discussion, and comment your dream species below. Do you side with conservation or control? Because this October, every choice you make, every gene you preserve, shapes the road to Jurassic World Rebirth. The next generation of dinosaurs begins with you.
The fences are gone, the illusion of control, gone with them. When the smoke cleared after Dominion, humanity wasn't the same species anymore. The dinosaurs were no longer exhibits. They were neighbors, competitors. And Jurassic World Evolution 3 asks the question no one wants to answer. What happens next? The year is 2031, 8 years since the fall of Biosyn Valley. The world has stopped pretending it can contain the prehistoric. Across the globe, rogue ecosystems have formed, from the snow-covered mountains of Canada to the flooded savannas of Africa. Herbivores graze near solar farms. Raptors follow cargo convoys across deserts, and the black market trades in cloned eggs like gold. The Global Conservation Bureau has a plan, or maybe a dream, a coordinated rewilding effort to bring balance between human cities and Mesozoic life. But balance has a cost. Every decision you make in this new world matters. In Evolution 3, the campaign isn't about building a park anymore. It's about rewriting history. The player becomes the architect of coexistence, or extinction. You decide which species survive, which ecosystems fall, and which alliances crumble when the world's governments finally turn on each other. Because here's the twist. The choices made in-game become the canon bridge to Jurassic World, Rebirth, the next chapter in the saga. That's right. Your campaign is the movie's timeline, Save the Raptors, and the world adapts around pack intelligence. Save the Apatosaurus, and humanity learns to share land with giants, wipe out the predators, and chaos finds a new form. But if you let the system fall apart, the rebirth begins. Scientists in-game whisper about an unknown variable, a hybrid that never existed in the parks. A convergence of genomes meant to stabilize ecosystems, or end them. Some say it's nature fighting back. Others say it's the final failsafe left by Wu himself. Either way, it's coming. The post-Dominion world isn't about control anymore. It's about survival. Every roar, every migration, every extinction writes your story. So when the dust settles and the rebirth begins, the question will be simple. Who did you save? Drop a like if you believe coexistence is still possible. Comment if you'd protect the dinosaurs instead of the cities, and subscribe right now, because next time we enter the rebirth protocol. The first roar has already been heard. Lore break. The truth about the Dinosaur Integration Network. They call themselves DIN, the Dinosaur Integration Network. On paper, they're the saviors of the modern age, the people who stopped extinction from happening twice. But if you ask anyone who's worked with them, you'll never get the same answer. Some say they re-heroes, the ones who rebuilt the world after the chaos of Jurassic World. Others whisper that they're the reason it never truly recovered. DIN's mission is written in stone: security, entertainment, conservation, 3 words, 3 lies, or 3 impossible promises, depending on who you ask. Security. They say every dinosaur on Earth is now micro-tagged, mapped, and monitored. But if that's true, why are there sightings in the Yukon? Why are herds moving through Siberian forests where no trackers exist? Maybe DIN knows. Maybe they let it happen. Entertainment, that's the money part. Partnerships with park franchises, holographic tours, virtual genetics. Dinosaurs turned into brand mascots. Education through wonder, the slogan says. But behind every smiling family photo is a containment drone hovering just out of frame. And then, conservation. The word they love the most. They call it coexistence, a future where humans and dinosaurs share the same biosphere. But how do you conserve something that never belonged here anymore? How do you protect a predator that eats the rest of your ecosystem? Some believe DIN's true goal isn't saving dinosaurs, it is controlling evolution itself. A quiet world government of scientists, engineers, and corporations deciding who gets to exist. Every genome they edit, every species they restore becomes a patent, a weapon, or a tourist attraction. But not everyone inside DIN agrees. Rumors talk of a faction, the Green Line Initiative, a group of rogue biologists within DIN who think the organization has lost its purpose. They're the ones releasing classified footage, warning the public that what's coming isn't balance, it's domination. The voice of one leaked transmission still circulates online. They're not building parks anymore, they're building borders. No one knows who said it. But if it's true, the world's not being rebuilt. It's being divided. Maybe DIN started as the good guys. Maybe they believed in the mission. But when your work involves living weapons with teeth the size of your arm, good becomes relative. Security, entertainment, conservation, 3 goals in conflict, 3 reasons to fail, 3 ways to lose control. So who are they really? The saviors of a new Earth, or the architects of its next extinction? Like if you think DIN hides more than it shows. Comment what you think their true motive is, and subscribe, because next we dig into the file they don't want you to see, Project Verdant Dawn.
Look, I've got tiny arms. I can't reach the like button myself. Help a T-Rex out and hit a like for me.
Part fish, part raptor, part nightmare. Fins where there should have been claws, feathers where there should have been scales.
And that's how you beat a T-Rex! Now hurry and subscribe for a chance to win!
If you want to see more fights like this one, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
At first they thought it was a hoax. 3 species tangled in one grave. But the DNA said otherwise.
It's absolutely complete. Look at the feathers. Unbelievable. We actually found it.
Every bone, every scale defied logic. Evolution rewritten in flesh and fossil.
See more races like these, then make sure you hit that subscribe button right now.
Observe the sheer magnitude of this incredible creature, a prime adult. The immense bone structure here.
Wait, did Jurassic World just turn into Minecraft plus Planet Zoo? Because what I'm about to show you will make you want to rebuild your entire park from scratch. No more boring square buildings. No more copy-paste shops. This time, it's fully custom. Roof tiles, rotating walls, custom glass, angled paths. You're not just building a park, you're building art. It starts with a blank platform. Just grass. Silence. And then, click. A single roof tile appears. Rotatable, resizable, paintable. You laugh at first. What am I going to do with a roof tile? 5 minutes later, you've built a luxury T-Rex penthouse with skylights, a coffee bar, and mood lighting. And then it hits you. This is no longer Jurassic World Evolution. This is Jurassic Architect Simulator. Want a floating sushi restaurant above the Mosasaurus Lagoon? Do it. Want a cozy cafe with moss-covered walls, fairy lights, and Indominus skull decor? Easy. Want a toilet that looks like a medieval castle with torches and a raptor mascot on the roof? Why would you ask that? Also, yes. But here's where it gets dangerous. You start changing the roof shingles one by one. You rotate every plank exactly 12.5 degrees, because symmetry matters. It's 3 a.m. Your family thinks you've moved out. Your park has a dinosaur hospital shaped like a croissant, and you're proud of it. But listen, don't lose this idea. Before you forget, hit subscribe. Trust me, you're gonna want to see the next episodes. Building a full Spinosaurus glass cathedral from scratch. A luxury Pachycephalosaurus fight club arena, And the Allosaurus 5-star pizza restaurant with retractable roof. So smash-like, drop a comment. Give my Parasaurolophus a penthouse if you're ready. Because this isn't just building. This is modular madness. This is Planet Zoo meets Jurassic Chaos. And this is how your park becomes legendary.
You know what's funny? I opened Jurassic World Evolution 3 to build a simple burger shop. And now I am 3 hours deep building a 2-story Spinosaurus-themed Starbucks with a skylight and solar panels. This game just unlocked modular building, like Planet Zoo but with dinosaurs that can eat your guests if you misplace a door. Roof tiles, custom walls, rotatable windows. Yes. Am I using it responsibly? Absolutely not. I gave my T-Rex an Italian-style villa with glass floors and a fountain that spits water every time it roars. I built a Mosasaurus sushi restaurant that politely shakes when the beast smacks the glass. And yes, I made a bathroom shaped like a dramatic medieval castle, with torches, for ambience. Now I can't stop. So if you're also ready to turn your park into an architectural fever dream, hit subscribe right now, drop a comment saying Dinosaur Architect, and I'll show you how to build a floating lagoon cafe, a Spinosaurus cathedral, and a raptor-themed Taco Bell with a drive-through like now, before my park's loan officer finds me.
Is there anyone in there? Come out!
And folks, if you want to see more incredible races just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button now.
All right, yeah!
And folks, if you want to see more incredible races just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button now.
All right, yeah! Kamehameha! Garlic goo! You're going down!
Now, take this! Kamehameha!
Goku can fight gods, but nothing scares him like Chi-Chi on a mission. Even the dinosaur didn't stand a chance. Watch Gohan's face.
Even the dinosaur knows better than to mess with Gohan's mom. Chi-Chi scares villains, monsters, basically everyone except Laundry Day.